Okay, we're going to Australia, 1995. Caulder Park Raceway. This was called the 1995 Nationals. I got on the internet in 1992 or 1993 and made friends with a drag racer in Australia. Swapped him some George Ray stuff for his national stuff. This is what they saw on TV. Hope you enjoy it. There's like 13 classes on this tape. And Tom Hoover makes an appearance as well.
Just on the border of New South Wales and Victoria, the Airport Adelaide fuel Walker chassis car on Nancy Dragonoff, running up against a fuel injected Camaro of Cushard. So both drivers now coming to the start line. Cushard has dialed in at a 915, a 910 dial in for Dragonoff. Conditions have cooled off here from the heat of the day, so dial-ins might be a little touchy. Dragonoff, a slow reaction to 629. Cushard wasn't a lot better, but Dragonoff's got problems. Cushard goes through and takes the win. A 937 at 123 mile an hour. Next semi-final pairing to decide who will be Tony Cushard's.
Looks like a Maverick kind of in the front, a Vega in the back. Australian cars are so cool.
As we've said, manually shifted car for speed. To get the consistency that he has had today, you have to be right on the ball. Now, Mags hasn't strayed from his styling, kept it at a 984.
Super Stock A, a stick, rolling gears.
364 light. Robbie Mags is through to the final round. And Mags is going to run right out the back door. He would have broken out.
I hope you notice at the finish line, there's another set of bleachers. Look at the bleachers there. There are no bad seats at Caulder Raceway. There are no bad seats. Look at the crowd. Boom.
Nice little smoky burnout. Colin Lloyd does the same. Putting a lot of warmth into those tyres. The conditions are a lot cooler than what they were.
Look at all those people.
It was 40 degrees. Both drivers now backing up. This is going to determine who will have a path through to the final. Who's going to be in the money run? Will it be Strano or will it be Colin Lloyd here? Heads up racing. 990 is the index. Pro start on the tree. Just 0.4 of a second. One flash of amber and they're away. So here we go. Colin Lloyd on the far side, the headset cylinder head. Holden Commodore edging up towards the beams. Sam Strano doing that as well. Chief starter Peter Sickles about to let them on their way. Now the interesting part with the conditions better now. Will someone break out? That's a possibility unless they detune the car a little bit with the better conditions. Here we go. Strano still edging up. Not far to go. He's in. Oh, they're away. A good light for Strano at 424. He holds nearly half a second reaction time advantage. It's going to be close down the bottom end of the racetrack. He's pushing Lloyd. He's taken a win. That's a big upset. A 994 at 132 mile an hour. He's knocked Colin Lloyd off. Lloyd ran 992. Look at this on the replay. Strano's Tirana lifted the wheels in the air. Now Colin Lloyd starts to move back at this stage. It's to determine who's going to meet Craig Getty in the final. This is the last of the semi-finals. Here Lloyd comes back, but he hasn't got enough. Now we're through to the final. Semi Strano, good on you. Final of modified motorcycle, the About Hydroponics Pro Finish crash by Jason Lee from South Australia. Bike looks fantastic and has been running even better all night long. Looks exceptionally well. Here we go, 895 dial in right on front of the bike there. there, you can see it there. Hasn't deviated since the semi-final. Dean Alford at 10-10. He also hasn't deviated on his styling. Big burnouts from both of these motorcycles. And that's a tough effort to get through to the final round. Crowd certainly have enjoyed what they've seen here tonight at the 1995 Nationals at Caulder Park. Okay, Alford edging towards the beams. See Jason Lee just sitting back, making sure he's nice and comfortable with what's happened so far. Alford sitting up, he's pre-staged. Just sitting there thinking about the job at hand. Here comes Lee, cool and calm. He's been here before, not at the Nationals though, at other events. Here we go, up in the rev limiter, lights down, good lead from both riders. Jason Lee, the 457 light. Alford's way out in front. Here comes Lee, the power coming on the top end. He's going to go through, he takes the win. A great win, a 916 on an 895 at 143 miles per hour. We're looking at the replay, a good lead for Dean Alford. But Lee had a better one on the Kawasaki. And as they went down track, it appeared as though Alford might have him. But the top-end charge of Lee's bike came on strong around about here at the 1,000-foot mark. Here he goes through and just gets through. A great win. Second Group 3 final of the night is one Kudnik and Jamie Small in the final of Super Street Eliminator. Smalls. Capri looking pretty good. Nice, strong burnout. Those tyres nice and hot. Kudnik also looking good with that number 1 on the car. Won every major event in the country, bar the Nationals. Can he claim this one? We're about to find out. We've got Small dials in 11.08 second time, 11.13 for Kudnik. It's interesting, Kudnik has just upped his dial in a little bit. The computer would have told him, hey, this is what the car should run. He'll dial it back to that and then drive the car to its potential. Here we go. Kudnik reacting off the first light. Away they go. Great reaction time. A 424. A 467 for Small, so that's no slouch. This is going to be a beauty down the bottom end of the racetrack. Who's going to win? It's Kudnik. Kudnik has won at 11.13 on an 11.13. Small has broken out by 12 thousandths. And Kudnik just collected his third major event. Great reaction time. Let's look at the replay right now. Both cars just ran side by side all the way down the racetrack. Kudnik just held that little bit of an advantage off the start line. It was 4/100ths of a second, and at the end of the finish line, that's what told as we look here. Well, you almost couldn't split them. Tony Couchard comes around. The nerves would be starting to get to him. He's done a great job so far. The butterflies in the stomach would be churning. He's in the final against Robbie Maggs. Now, one Kudnik has just shown us in the final of Super Street how close you have to run to your dial-in if you want to take the gold Christmas tree home. Couchard has dialed in at a 925. Bearing in mind in the last round, he shut off early. He ran a 937. Now, Maggs drove the car all the way through in the last round. He ran 979 and stuck with a 984 dial-in all day there. So he's back down that dial-in to a quicker time. He's expecting to run it out here. Both drivers now starting to come towards the beams. But a great bracket of racing, the Super Sedan bracket brought to us by Autobarn. And it's come down to these two after 60 competitors. It's got down to 2 drivers right here, right now. Revs will start to rise in a minute. Both drivers got to keep their wits about them. Fairly close dialing, so here we go. Good lead for Maggs, a 443. He holds a 5/100ths of a second advantage off the start line. This will be close. He's pushing Couchard. Couchard's come through. He's gone across the line first, but the wind has gone to Robbie Maggs. He's pushed Couchard to break out. We see it all on the start line. The advantage right there, and then that's what won it for Maggs. The Monaro goes through at a 981 on that 979. And Couchard, as we see here on the replay, starts to draw in front of the 1,000 foot, but his 921 was too quick. Robbie Maggs, you're a winner. John Sting just being pushed back there, the A-modified dragster. This is the final of modified eliminator. The dial your own bracket for the Altereds and the dragsters. There's Robbie Jackson. What a great job he's done so far from Adelaide. John Sting from Queensland. So these competitors have converged on the Caulder Park Raceway to battle it out here at the Nationals. 24 competitors, now down to 2. Very shortly it's going to be one. The winner. Here we go. John Sting dialed in at 8:23. Stayed around that all day. 8:75 dial in for Robbie Jackson. He's actually dropped his dial in by 500s. Sting has upped it by 100s. Quite strange considering the conditions. I'm sure John Sting knows what he's doing though. And so does Robbie Jackson. Okay, we're about to decide who takes home the bacon, who takes the glory, who takes home the gold and a Christmas tree and writes their name into the history books forever. Jackson on the break, gonna lock it up. Sting doing the same inside his dragster. Here we go, red light, a big one for Robbie Jackson at 276 light and a 418 for John Sting. That would have been pretty good, and he takes it with a great with an 824 at 159 miles per hour, John Sting. Super Gas final round now. There's Craig Geddes, the Burson Auto Parts, Bodyline Ford Cortina, Sam Strano. This is the first final round he's ever been in Strano. Geddes, of course, had the advantage of a bye through to the final in the semis. Strano had a bye in round number 3. So in the last 2 rounds, they've both had bye runs. Both of them have been running very, very consistently. Now it's a heads-up start on a Pro Tree, so just the 0.4 of a second, one flash of amber, both drivers are away. 990 is a fixed index. They can't go quicker than that. Strano looking around the car. The nerves will be churning over here. Geddes, bit more experience in racing at this late round of an event. Here we go. It's for the Andrew Gold Christmas tree. Craig Geddes running up against Sam Strano, both from Victoria. Flashes going off everywhere. This is it. It's the money run. A great light for both drivers. Strano got it though. A 402 light. This is going to be side by side. A 419 for Geddes. I can't tell who won. The computer tells me it was Sam Strano with a 994. A slower time. A 993 for Geddes. What a great race. Look at it. You couldn't separate the cars at the start line. It was side by side, a classical Holden versus Ford confrontation. The Tirana holding the advantage all of the way down the racetrack. The 350 small block holding out the 407 Ford engine. And here we go. Try and separate those. Final of competition motorcycle.
So it was a board out 390.
20 cubic inch Harley Davidson. Red locking.
Oh, nice tutu, dude.
750 cc's. Now Locking's got a 974 in.
You don't see that every day.
Interesting one. He set the national record. There's Mackie. The bike sounding fantastic. Red Lockheed always sounding good.
You don't want to see that every day.
It's going to be a tough one. Mackie looking for a win after last year's runner-up spot. Looking down at the bike. He shut it off. You cannot believe it. 2 years in a row he's runner-up. He pulls the belt off in the light. Boy, that must be so disappointing. Cool and calm though, Perry. He's walking away from the bike. He's, boy, the disappointment's there. He's just have to walk away. The crew are shaking their heads. Red Lockheed's going to get a solo through to the win at the 1995 Nationals in competition motorcycle. He's going to go for broke, no doubt. This is it. He wants to show that he should have been the champion to begin with. Red's coming up on the Kawasaki. The bike leaves the line, wheel in the air. Just shifting through those gears, head down, bum up. This guy is on a ride down a quarter mile. A great one, a 9:46, and that's a win. And the pretty ladies happy. Fantastic result for Red Lockheed.
Superstock final, out he comes, John Columbaris down the Camaro. This is a CMP car, and he's been running very, very well. The blue Camaro looks a picture as it comes out for the final.
Right-hand drive Camaro.
Matchup too is going to be really interesting because the South Australian takes on a Western Australian. There he is, George Bailey in the Mazda 929. It's a B-gas car, and it has been hot. Look at them line them up, both pretty intent here to make this their final. A South Australian taking on the West Australian.
Superstock racing at its best. The Tin Top's a great job just to even get the first round with 45 races fronting, 16 qualifiers. Here we are, the fourth round of racing, the final.
A lot of people been
Looks like a
about
68,
this car
but he called it a
behind the
69.
sheds in the garages. It's really impressed everybody.
As is Lunchy's car, the Chevy Camaro, 333 cubic inch Patterson racing engine.
Oh, what about the start? Both cars just leapt up and said, give us some trigger. The Mazda, I like the Mazda. And oh, Bailey, it can't beat Bailey for the 95 Nationals. He has been red hot right throughout this meeting. Final pairing now, Pro Stock Motorcycles. This is the final. Les Donnan from South Australia takes on Philip Howard from South Australia. You're looking at Howard there, ready to light it up. And there's Donnan. Castrol Machine should probably go in as a favoured rider here, but this guy has been good all day.
Well, he has. And what about Phil Howard? Into two final rounds on the one day in a top fuel motorcycle and Pro Stock bike. Now, the big question here, Daryl, is can he take two wins? It's only ever been done twice before, back in 1976 by Pommy Peter Allen and Jim Reed, both at the same event.
So Philip Howard, with some pressure hanging about him, could motivate him to take on Les Donnan and beat him. Suzuki taking on the Kawasaki. Donnan aboard a Suzuki, Howard aboard the Kawasaki. That's Howard, far picture there. In the foreground here, Les Donnan should go in as a favoured rider. Both get away really nicely. Howard tucks down, but oh, look at Donnan. Donnan too strong.
Class of the field, he goes through, takes his second Nationals win, a 768.
Pro Stocks, they have been great. Ridgway from Victoria takes on Van Dyke from Victoria. Ridgway in the blue and white car, Van Dyke in the white Holland. It has been super hot tonight.
Been sensational, Pro Stock. These are the Group A touring cars of drag racing. Ridgway running the Pontiac. Van Dyke is the crowd favourite here. The crowd are going berserk for the Holden.
Ah, yeah, the Aussie Holden hasn't done a job tonight. For Hans Van Dyke from Victoria, and of course Peter Ridgway in that blue and white Pontiac, it's been sensational too. This should be, I reckon, one of the best matchups we've seen this year so far. Well, here they come now, the Holden and the Pontiac. Van Dyke taking on Ridgway. Set, listen to the revs, they'll start to build. Pro Stock final. What a class that's been here at Caulder. In the stage now, here we go. Both get away pretty well. Ridgway has the run at the moment. Van Dyke comes back, but I think it's going to be Ridgway. Oh, the Holden comes out of him, but the Pontiac gets it, and I reckon he only got it by a bumper bar.
That was sensational, close racing.
What about this meeting? They just keep coming out, don't they? This is the top alcohol final. Steve Reed and Gary Phillips. What a good matchup. Two dragsters.
All the money cars are gone in top alcohol. It's left to these two. Gary Phillips, 2 times Australian champion, hasn't won top alcohol in the Nationals yet. Homie Steve Reed, the Red Wing Shoes Cup. I've got to tell you, Daryl, the Nationals in top alcohol has only ever been won by Steve Reed. Either Aussie Steve or Pommy Steve Reed. Will the tradition continue?
Okay, it's like State of Origin here. The Blues taking on the Maroons. Queensland taking on New South Wales. Steve Reed from New South Wales. Gary Phillips, of course, from Queensland. Brisbane boy.
Phillips top qualifier, ran Australia's quickest ever top alcohol run. 5.901 seconds. Reed qualified on his last attempt, last effort. Will be a fairy tale ending here for him.
We'll soon see as they back him up. Top alcohol final. This crowd has been mesmerised with the racing that we've seen here today and right into the evening. Over the weekend, it has just been one of the great drag meetings in Australia. And Victoria, congratulations. 55,000 now. You've backed over 80,000 over the weekend. All set now for the top alcohol final. Away they go. Oh, again, gets out of shape. The fire goes out, and Steve Reed just powers down the line. Not the way he wanted to win it, but that's a win anyway. Tommy Hoover from the US of A takes on Brad Simpson from New South Wales. Simpson can't believe he's here.
Like Darren Carter in the funny cars, this is Brad Simpson's first ever meeting.
Isn't it amazing? We see the red Winfield car come out. It's a number 2 car. And of course the rocket machine, normally Graham Cow, that's his number 2 car. So the 2 number 2s, the old wily veteran takes on the young gun.
You expect to see Jimmy Reed and Graham Cow, but it's come to this. Tom Hoover and Brad Simpson. Now this is going to be interesting. Brad Simpson ran 5:18 in qualifying. Tom Hoover ran 5:07, so it could be very good.
Hoover in Arizona just a week ago in a funny car with some success.
Went to the final of Funny Car, was defeated by John Force. He's won 5 national events on the US Tour. He's a top runner.
Tommy Hoover backs it up. As we've said, the number 2 cars and drivers, well, I'm not sure they're number 2 drivers in the case of Simpson, certainly, but Reed's just a superstar here in Australia. But Hoover's got the cash and put the Winfield car into the final. Nobody's left here.
No one is left, and you can be guaranteed here, Darryl, that these cars, although the number 2 chassis may be the number 2 drivers for the teams, they'll have the number 1 mechanicals.
The word we have is Tom Hoover has got Jimmy Reed's engine aboard, so he's been pretty happy with that. He got the number 1 engine slotted in the car. Jimmy Reed said, "Like, I'll give you the best I've got. You do the job." Graham Cowan has done the best job he can to get Brad Simpson lined up, the kid. Okay, they'll come up. This should be a beauty. Hoover, as we said, red hot. He's had plenty of racing over the last couple of weeks. Loves it here in Australia and would love
Track
to win
worker
this.
was shaking his hand. He started to make a move. Somebody was standing back where he shouldn't be.
The crowd vibrating. Crowd fingers in
And
the
he's
ears.
shaking his head.
Final stage, away we go. Hoover gets Simpson. Look at Simpson get sideways. You don't get any more sideways than that. And Hoover takes it. The American takes it, but Simpson, how do you get out of that? He got totally sideways, giving it to Hoover. But if that's not the hairiest ride for a while, I'll give up.
Let's watch 5,500 horsepower go right up in tyre smoke.
Hoover, of course, watch him shut it down. He takes the event. Andrew Voss talks with Big Tom.
Tom, 524, the national title's yours. I tell you, put Jimmy's motor in here. It was really a thrill to win it over here in Australia. You got great fans over here. I only wish Jim probably could have been driving and win it. I felt I had it won. I had his motor in there. We took it to our first light. It was a brand new engine. I didn't want to hurt it. And she was flying. And it's been one of the nicest highlights of my career to come over here and meet all the people in Australia and have as much fun as we've had over the last 2 months since Christmas, starting at Willowbank, Eastern Creek, and here. And it's a lot of fun memories of Melbourne. I'll never forget this night.
Keep you coming back.
I think so. Thank you.
Here's a terrific matchup. Romeo Capitanio is taking on Darren Carter. And there's Capitanio lighting him up here for the crowd. But wait till Darren Carter comes out. This is the man involved in that fiery accident. He got shunted from behind by Keith Agus. And it's one of the worst accidents I've ever seen. Well, both crews, Agus's crew, Carter's crew, have done their best to repair the car. Can you believe this after what you saw?
A magnificent achievement. Carter's tried to do the burnout. Not successful, but what about the Motorcraft Ford Pro team and the Aegis team? Boy, they've done a great job. Romeo Capitanio seems a little bit forgotten, but he's driven so well this weekend. Look at the work.
Oh, that's an amazing job. That is an incredible job. That car was an absolute mess. You saw the carnage laying all over the track, and they've repaired it. Both crews got together, pooled their bits and pieces and their time and their tools, and they've actually got it to the line. And the crew, what do you say? I mean, that's the heart and soul of motor racing as far as I'm concerned.
The guys are fierce rivals on the racetrack, but when it comes time to helping out the class, they're all in together. There's problems. Darren Carter's out of the car. The dream's all over. The first meeting's gone.
Well, Darren Carter, everybody in Australia watching this dips their lid here. Capitanio takes off. You can't blame him. He just blasts his way down the track. Terrific run. But your heart goes out to Darren Carter. But Romeo Capitanio, he takes the cash here. Bad luck, you know, for Darren Carter. Just couldn't make the line after that smash.
Yeah, it was a great effort for the Motorcraft Ford Pro team to get out for the final funny car. Well done to Romeo Capitanio, though. John Hanley on screen, the Castrol dragster, going to take on Wayne Jones in the final of competition.
Waiting for Jones from Queensland in the 23T bucket. That's the double B ordered car to come around on track as Henry lights his car up. That's the double B dragster from South Australia.
Hanley's reset the national record for speed in double B dragster as well.
He's had a terrific weekend, but Jones hasn't fronted yet. I think Jones has got a problem.
Yeah, The one. He's got it.
He's done it. He's got it. Well, it's not the way he would have liked to have got it, but you take him any way you can. The National Championship goes to John Handley in the double B dragster, the Castrol car sitting in front of you. Unfortunately, Jones couldn't make the line. Bad luck. Here comes the run anyway.
A great win for John Hanley. His third Nationals title. The car runs all the way through the finish line. A 6.69. As you said, not the way he would have liked to have won, but he's won.
He's the national champion. He's reset the double B dragster speed, so he can't do much more than that. Top Fuel Motorcycles now. Phil Howard, Peter Allen. Well, Allen's been sensational on the Kawasaki, and Howard on the Howard has just been electrifying. This should be one of the races of all time. Have a look at him. Smoke it up. Oh, and gets a little bit sideways as he kicks it.
Look at the twins.
Time machine. They want to party tonight. He wants his first ever 6-second elapsed time. You wouldn't believe. Oh, Howard's definitely gone off on the burnout, but he in fact has run sixes all night.
Howard has been unbelievable.
Push him back and direct him at the same time. Man, oh man.
On that rubber, that's the most important thing.
Got to get into the nice hot tracks of Goodyear rubber.
Last race of the night. Top bike. Phil Howard, Peter Allen. Howard in the red-white machine has just been unbelievable. Remember, he's only just stepped on this bike, and he's been the man to chase all day. Allen on the Kawasaki, the yellow bike, Pinto bike. That's him there. And as I said, they don't come too much braver than these fellows. All right, set here, should be a beauty. Can Howard pull it off from South Australia over Allen from Victoria?
Howard running the bike that Pommy Peter Allen used to run himself.
Yeah, it must be hard to him. Away they go. Good even start. Allen's behind. He's trailing. Can he come back? Oh, look at him. Look at the body language as he gets on the bike.
Watch this.
He's had to wrestle the machine. Now he comes over into the lane with Allen. Oh, he's okay though. He should be able to pull up.
Oh, he's not okay.
You're talking about body language.
Watch the bike. Boom. Upside down. Roll. Boom. Upright.
Sensational. Watch it from the start line again. Both of the riders.
There's nobody crazier on the planet than top fuel bike drivers. Nobody.
Phil Howard, a 6.73. Look at the attitude on those bikes. A 6.95 for the Pom, but that's where it didn't finish.
Well, we've seen some history tonight. Howard, of course, with that run, that win, has taken him into the 200-mile-an-hour run. Now, look at him here as he comes across. You think he's going to pull it up. And remember, he's coming down from 200 mile an hour on the old scale. Just amazing. Now, the bike gets totally sideways and starts to scrape itself to death. He gets out of it. The bike decides it's going to continue on and have a little victory roll. And that's what it's done there. 3.5 hours. Has it gone already, Cheryl? When you're having fun, time just flies. We hope you've enjoyed the action from the 1995 Nationals. From Caulder Park, Bobby Jane, you really turned on a great meeting for us. Now, we look forward to bringing you all the action.
I want to thank everybody for watching. Come back and see what we got tomorrow. Please subscribe and share.